Hello. Okay, I'm back again because it's St. Patty's Day and I actually found something green. So I'm happy about that. What's going on, you guys? I have something to talk to you about today. And in spirit of the luck of the Irish, I want to talk about money. Money. I love money. It's okay. It's all right. I said it. I love money. I love it. And I think somebody listening right now, maybe more than one of you, are like, that's triggering me. Maybe you're like, that's triggering me, Jen. What do you mean by that? What do you mean you love money? Yeah, let's talk about it. I think that we get to have these conversations. I think people think that money is bad. People have stories about money being hard to make. People have stories about money being the root of all evil, right? There's all these stories around money. And I was actually doing a lesson inside one of my programs, and it was about a money mindset. So I wanted to come on today in the spirit of St. Patty's Day and luck and abundance and the pot of gold and talk about money. So if you're triggered by what I just said, I want you to stick around. If you're not triggered, you're going to learn something probably today that's going to support you. At least I hope so. That's my hope. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jen Luddington. I am known as Jen the Generator, or at least I like to be known that way. And I'm a mind ascension coach, and I just crowned myself as that recently. And I really love helping women blow up the beliefs that don't serve them so they can stop blowing up their life. And one of the big beliefs that women have is around scarcity and money and worthiness around money. And it's a really interesting thing to work through. But once you can, it can change your life. It changed mine. And I remember the moment I declared to change my conversation around money. And I want to share it with you. So I grew up in a lot of scarcity. I grew up in a very blue collar home. There were times where we didn't have electricity. There were times when we didn't have the basics. And I lived with a single mom, and I grew up with a very scarce mindset. And I remember the day that it changed for me. I remember the moment that it changed for me, and I declared to not repeat that pattern. So how many of you have felt yourself repeating a pattern, maybe from history of your parents or your parents' parents, or those stories that your parents maybe have, maybe they didn't mean to instill these in you, but maybe you've heard those stories of money is bad, money is the root of all evil, money's hard to make, money doesn't grow on trees, right? Remember hearing that? Anybody? I heard it. So I don't know if any of you have heard it, but it seems to be very prevalent in my community with women I work with. So the day I stopped having that story and I declared to never have this scarcity mindset passed on to my daughter was a moment I'll never forget. And I've told this story before, but I was sitting on the floor, literally on my knees in Winco, crying with my little daughter. She was like 2 at the time, on my lap, Lainey. Because I didn't have enough money. I thought I had enough change that I'd scraped off the bottom of my Dodge. And I thought I had enough money to buy milk. And I didn't. And I was at this point in my life where I was pretending to have it all together. I was pretending like everything was fine, but I was really struggling. I was living in my friend's basement. Sometimes I was living in my studio, A2O Fitness, with my daughter. And in that moment on the floor when I couldn't buy milk, for the first time couldn't buy milk, I declared to never repeat this pattern and to not have my daughter repeat this pattern in her life. I was going to break the cycle. I decided in that moment to do that. And in my programs, I teach a lot of how to do that. But today I want to share something with you. And it's the one thing that shifted things for me is when I thought I didn't have anything. When I didn't have tangible resources, I actually had something different. And I had to get creative. And this is where I talk about the feminine divine, the divine feminine, however you want to call it. The essence of women is that we're creative. We are so creative. And that creativity brings us resourcefulness. And so what's beautiful about being in your feminine is when you can tap into that flow of, okay, if I don't have the actual money, what do I have? What can I create? How can I get creative and create resourcefulness? Because here's the thing. If you don't learn to get resourceful in your life, you'll never have resources, meaning you'll never have money. Being resourceful is about thinking out of the box, shifting the way you're thinking about what you have currently and what you would like to create in prosperity and profitability in your life. And it's about getting resourceful. So I'm going to share with you an example of resourcefulness in action in my life. And I'm going to share just one example. And I'm going to share an example of one of my clients who was recently extremely resourceful and didn't take no for an answer, didn't take the convenient path. She was so committed to her vision and changing that mindset and changing her path, even though she comes from poverty and she comes from, a place of scarcity. She was so determined to change it. It was powerful. And so the way that I thought about resourcefulness is I had a gym, right? I did have a gym. And I was working very hard. I had a gym, but I wasn't creating revenue for me. I made it look like to everybody else I was putting on a show that it was very successful, but it wasn't. It was successful for my trainers that worked in my gym with me and my clients, but it wasn't successful for me. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel every day. I was riding my bike most of the time because I couldn't afford gas, right? So in that moment I thought, well, I have a gym. What can I do, right? So I rented my gym out to photographers on weekends when it wasn't being used. I actually had a contract with bodybuilding.com for a while that were paying me to use my studio when it wasn't in use. I thought, well, I have the ability to train people. I didn't have a place to live. I was living in my friend's basement and I was sometimes staying in the studio because I had to train people so early. So what could I do? And I actually had a woman that I was training who's a godsend. And I said, she had a house for rent. And I knew she had a house for rent and I knew she wanted to train with me. So I said, what if I trained you 5 days a week in exchange for living in your house? And I used my resourcefulness to get the resource of having a home for my daughter and I that was ours. And that's what I did. I traded my work for the house, right? So it worked out really well for me. I also did things like I went to BSU and got on their internship list so that I could have someone help me with my gym, helping me with the laundry, helping me with doing some tasks at the gym that I didn't have time for because I was tapped out of time. So I went to a BSU and had interns come in that in exchange for watching me and mentoring with me, they helped me with things at the gym. So because I couldn't afford people to help me with those things, right? So these are some examples of resourcefulness. So how can you get resourceful in your life? What do you have currently that you can work with to get resourceful? Because here's the thing, right on the other side of that decision to be resourceful is where you're going to gain all the abundance. Right on the other side of it not being convenient, right on the other side of thinking outside of the box is your resource, is your abundance, right? That's what happens. And that the moment I decided to be resourceful and shift is when everything started to change in my business and I was able to free up my time. I had a house to live in and I had money, right? Even if it wasn't a lot of money, I felt the relief of the fear of not being able to buy milk for my daughter. So where can you find the resourcefulness in your life? Where can you find it so that you can gain the abundance? You can get out of the mediocre way that you're maybe living right now. Get on the other side of the fear. Think out of the box. Get creative. Tap into your divine feminine and find your resourcefulness. Because I'm telling you, everyone comes to me and they're like, Jen, I just don't have the money. I don't have the money to work with you right now. I have this big vision. I want to create this business and I want to change lives, but I just don't have the money to work with you right now. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's on the other side of convenience. It's resourcefulness. So whatever it is you're looking for in your life, if you're looking to make a big change, if you're looking to really level up your life, I encourage you to get resourceful. And if you don't know how, ask me. I'm willing to share. My clients get resourceful. All of my clients have all paid me. And they've all had that same story, right? I don't have the money. Well, guess what? Once they got on the other side of that decision, all of the money started raining down. All of the abundance came in. Because it's that shift in your mindset. So I want to share with you one more thing. It's how my client got resourceful. It was really interesting because she had a decision to make. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this story for tomorrow. Because it's a good one and it deserves its own live. So hopefully this supported you today. Come back tomorrow and listen. I'll share the story about my client. I've already checked with her and she said I could share it. So that's the only reason I am. But it's a powerful message. So come back tomorrow and listen a little bit more if you want to get more into this abundance mindset and how to clear some of those old money stories and how to get into action. So the one way that you can change it today is to figure out a way to get resourceful with what you currently have. Okay. I love you guys.